My name is Lydia Aswani, and I'm currently the president of Kenya Jump Rope Federation. Yeah, jump rope sport in Kenya started way back in 2010, and it was introduced by an American world champion who went to Tanzania, introduced the sport, and then he came to Kenya and his quest was, he was looking for a way for the sport to be competed in East Africa. So that was in 2010. So by 2011, we were able to represent Kenya at the World Championship in US. Then 2013, again, we took a bigger number, again in Florida, US, and we were position 3 after US and France. 2015, again, we were able to represent Kenya in US again, and we won 42 medals. Yeah, 2017, we went to Norway, where again we were position 3 out of after US and France. And then that was our last World Championship in 2017. And then 2028 we couldn't make it. 2018 we couldn't make it. 2019 we tried, we couldn't make it. 2020 we were supposed to go, but we didn't make it again because of Corona. So we did it virtually, and we became position 3. And then and their mental health. So I was like, I'm looking into something that can really bring hope and enhance a whole person. And then, yeah, so I learned about jump rope online. So in YouTube, I come across jump rope, and I'm like, I want this thing, but it looks scary actually. And then, like, with every day following it and passion to just learn, like, who is doing this and where is it? Where was it started? Then I came across the national team of Kenya that was in existence, but at that time they were not a registered federation. They were operating as an association. Yes, so I joined them, started training, and year after year I had like 200, 300 kids like coming, and we are jumping, and I'm like, then this thing, I have to uplift it to some level. I don't want people to just jump and go home. Like, what is in this thing? So I was so curious. And also just coming out of a sporting environment, I know the importance of sport. Like, even if you don't make it as a professional player, there are so many important nuggets that sports bring into someone's life, like social skills, like traveling, like knowing yourself, knowing how to handle and work with people. So those are some of the things I was like, if they don't end up being anybody's like professional athletes, at least I want to mold them into productive individuals. So that is how the journey was started along with me. And then I learned that this sport is huge on the other side. Actually, it's only Africa where the sport is still very, the sport has very minimal attention in Africa. But the other continent, the sport is huge. So when I'm looking at those continents, I'm like, people have already laid a foundation for us, African and Kenya. Like, for me, it's Kenya, then Africa. So I'm like, then, if people have laid that, we need to be there and maybe climb higher. So now I started training the kids, like, professionally. And as we speak, the kids I've trained for the last 4 years, 10 of them are in the national team under 15. Yeah.
Right. And how many categories do we have in this team? Because I can see it's a blended version. We have young kids as low as under 15.
Yes.
Then we have the senior squad. I can see majority who are over 18.
Yes.
So how many categories do we have, and what criteria do you use to select the team?
Oh, nice. Thank you. So, yeah, for us, I think the youngest kid I've ever coached was 4 years. So we start from any age, like any age that a kid can take a rope and jump. So 4 years, 5 years, others start at 6, and I started when I was 27. So it's not like we have an age limit for starting or for stopping. But right now in Kenya we have age group U8, under 8, that is. We have under 10, then we have under 13, under 15, and then under 18, and then we have 19 to 20, that's the elite, And then masters start from 30 plus. Yes, but at the World Championship or international championships, we normally have U9, U15, and then U19, and then U18, sorry, then 19 plus, so 19 to 29 category, and then 30 plus. Yes.
Okay. So take us through some of the rules. Is it, girls separate, boys separate, or is it a mixed version of it? Because this is to many, just like I said, this is a very new sport to many.
Yeah.
What we used to see is just a normal game that you can just do physical exercise and enjoy yourself.
Yes.
But today, for men who are watching us right now, will be learning for the first time that this is actually a competitive sport.
Yes.
So how do you go about it in terms of the level of selection that you have just mentioned, then the one and twos about the games in terms of rules.
Okay.
How do you compete actually in this
Thank you.
jumping rope?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of people actually know skipping rope activity. Like if you ask, how many people have ever jumped? It's almost the entire room. But when you ask, how many people know that jump rope is a sport? It's almost none. So like our activity is familiar, but the sport part of remain unfamiliar. And thank you for that question because I normally like it because I want to address how this is a sport. So jump rope has no age limit, 1. 2, jump rope has it's an inclusive sport whereby both boys and girls compete on the same stage. Like World Championship, it's combined boys and girls. You can as well make a team of a relay team with mixed, so it's allowed. If you can take girls relay, for example, take boys relay, and then take a mixed team where like you mix boys and girls to make one team. We compete on the same stage, so we don't, like boys don't compete on their own stage and then girls on their own stage. It's on the same platform. So that's one. The rule of the game, we have so many rules. They apply actually better when someone is doing it, but I'll try to explain. So one, this is an indoor sport according to the world standard. But because we don't have indoor spaces in Africa or in Kenya, we decided to jump anywhere. So this is an indoor sport. It's classified as an indoor sport. 2, maybe I'll let you know that in jump rope, we have 3 elements. The fitness element, the one we were doing. And then we have the entertainment element that we did in the conference room. And then we have the sport element. So maybe a little bit of the sport element. So in sport element, we have different discipline in jump rope. For example, we have individual sport and team sport. One of the individual sport is called single rope speed sprint. So the shortest, or maybe the most competitive part of that is 1 by 30 seconds. So one person has 30 seconds to jump with the feet alternating one after the other. Not like 2, but 1 foot after the other. So you go, like it's like sprinting on the spot. So you have 30 seconds to go as many as you can. And then you stop at 30 seconds, and then the judges will tell you how many scores you have. But at the international level, actually, you have the sensor flow, whereby when you tap, it is reflecting on the screen so that people who are watching, the layman, can actually cheer you because they are seeing your scores counting on the wall. So that is one event. The same event, we have relay for the same event. So 4 by 30 seconds. 4 by 30 seconds. It's like athletics now, the athletics version. So 4 people on the same line, you have agreed who is starting first, second, and third, and fourth. So each of them is going for 30 seconds. And then at the end, they tally the total, and then they will know which team is leading. You can either, depending on the number of teams, you go for preliminaries, then quarters, semis, and then finals. So that is just one example of how we do that. And then we have the longest one goes for 180 seconds. That is 3 minutes. Yes. So we have 3 minutes sprint on the spot with the rope. And then the last, maybe the last two. So we have double unders. So you see, you jump a little bit higher, then you turn the rope twice before you land consecutively for 30 seconds. That's an event on its own. It's in a relay form. Then the last one, the best one I love, it's the triple unders. So you have the stage, you have your rope, you turn the rope 3 times before you land consecutively. That one is the last man standing. So when you drop off, they just count for you. And then that is the end, yeah. So we have the same events. So I only talked about the single rope, but we have the double dutch. Are you able to retell what that is? So double dutch is where we have 2 ropes being turned by 2 people at the same time, and 1 or more jumpers are jumping inside. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about the game itself.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a game is being played in a society that in most cases this is not one of the games that they will consider to be, well known, or even a game that can bring benefit to the athletes themselves.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the reception outside there.
Yeah, well, that's a nice question. Actually, we are where we are because the community reception is really low. Actually, everywhere we go, everybody asks, like, have you been in existence? Like, yes, we've been here for almost 15 years. And people are like, yeah, because of the reception. So I can say like a jump rope or skipping rope is not yet received or given the same attention as the other sports. And to some point for me, it's a good thing as well as bad thing. Because a good thing, one, because we have time to blend and make it. Because for me, one of the goals I have, having been an athlete who has gone through so much, there is a way I would love to see federations being led in the country. So for me, the reason I'm saying it's good that the reception is still low is because we have time to actually build a better federation. Like before, everyone is everywhere coming in and out. So we have time to build a better federation with good structures. But the bad side is, one, without reception, we coach these kids and then they lose morale. Because when their parents don't support them, then you can't take them to competition. And then reception by even the ministry, for example, it's very low. That means like we have missed on 5 crucial events. One happened last month in Norway. We were invited. We couldn't even like just try because we knew nobody will support. We have another one coming in Sweden. We've been invited. We're like, because we don't have so much support, let's just let it go. And then we have other events coming, but we are like, how are we able to
Na mtazamaji, karibu kwenye kipindi KUTV on the spot. Ikiwa ni Jumamosi nyingine ya kufanikisha hiki kipindi ndani ya masaa mawili. Najua tumesonga lakini iko sawa. Tumetanguliza na one on one ambayo ilikuwa ni makala ya kusherehekea siku ya michezo. Makala hayo yalikuwa yameandaliwa hapa chuoni tu, watu wakisherehekea tu kwamba michezo inabadilisha mambo mengi sana. Kwa leo kuna masuala mengi ambayo tumeweza kukuandalia kwenye hiki kipindi, masuala ambayo tutakuwa tunaangazia ndani ya masaa mawili ama lisali moja na nusu ambayo yamesalia, sawa na kuzungumza na washikadau mbalimbali kuhusiana na michezo ama kuhusiana na matukio ambayo wameratibu ama wamepanga yafanyike, yote yakiwa na michezo. Hii ni KUTV on the spot. Mimi ni Pinchez, kijana taratibu. Kwanza kabisa niruhusu tuzame kwenye habari, kisha baden tuingie kwenye masuala mengine. Karibu kwenye hiki kitengo cha habari, tuangazie masuala habari mbalimbali ambazo tumeweza kukuandalia pamoja na kikosi changu. The much anticipated National Olympic Committee of Kenya elections hit a dead end on Thursday after an internal wrangle over voting rights between officials from the Taekwondo, Volleyball and Handball Federation, as well as the Triathlon, with NOC Secretary General Francis Mtuku revealed that the executive committee comprising of President Paul Tergat, First Deputy President Shadrack Maluki, Treasurer Eliud Kariuki and himself were forced to convene an emergency meeting to deliberate on how to break the deadlock. Faced with a constitutional dilemma, NOC was left with no choice but to suspend the election until legal guidance could be sought.
The General Assembly and request a proposal that we adjourn this particular assembly. We seek legal opinions and advice on the next steps, but the executive is clear on two things. The first one is that the Olympic and Commonwealth programs continue running, and secondly, that whatever is provided for in the Constitution to have elections as soon as possible can be done.
Hali ya kusubiri tu, alafu baadaye tutajua uchaguzi wa NOC utakuwa unafanyika lini. Lakini mambo ya NOC bado hayajasimama. Ni vizuri sana kumsikiza Francis Mtuku akisema kwamba mambo yanaendelea. Kama ni maandalizi ya michezo yote ambayo inahusisha NOC yapo sawa. Tusonge kwenye hii ya soka. The Junior Starlets bid to make history by qualifying for back-to-back FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup came to a crushing end on Friday night in Yaoundé, Cameroon, as they fell 3-1 to Cameroon, sealing a 4-1 aggregate defeat in the final round of the qualifiers. Having lost the first leg 1-0 at home, Kenya needed a 2-goal margin to keep their World Cup dream alive, but just 6 minutes into the match, that dream began to slip when Cameroon's Beatrice Avana fired home a soft shot that somehow beat Velma Abuire, shaking the Starlets' early composure and forcing them into yet another uphill battle.
Très très vicieux, et la mise de l'effet est là. Rapidement, dans cette rencontre, les Kenyans ont la possibilité de revenir à... C'est quoi? Bah ouais, c'est un pénal. Et à main. Et Lambert Onana, on parlait de ce coup franc qui était quand même assez vicieux. Mais Jessica Mabou was gonna be dangerous. Elisabeth Ochaka face à Jessica Mabou. Elle a la possibilité de remettre ses coéquipières.
Haya, double Olympic marathon champion Eliud Kipchoge will hope to draw inspiration from his past success on the streets of London when he battles for the London Marathon title this Sunday. Kipchoge will be gunning for a record-extending 5th title in the British capital, having collected 4 titles previously. Widely regarded as the greatest marathoner of all time, Kipchoge will be gunning for a record-extending 5th title in the British capital, lining up against formidable field of world-class athletes. The 40-year-old is already the most decorated male athlete in London Marathon history with 4 titles. Kipchoge will line up alongside the reigning London Marathon champion and compatriot Alexander Munyao. Munyao claimed last year's crown, crossing the line in 2 hours, 4 minutes and 1 second ahead of Bekele and the host Emile Kyrres.
A big mistake, but you know, when you train for 5 months and you don't get the result, and you know, then that's a big challenge. And you know, a lot was going on, and but all in all is that I have wake up, go to training every day, and I'm ready for Sunday.
Do you still feel like you're healthy? Like
yes, I'm healthy.
Yeah?
Yes.
And your sessions, do you run them, I mean, are you running them as fast as you used to when you were in world record shape? Are they the same or are they any different now?
I'm running in a good way. Finishing my session is in a good way, in a happy way. Yeah.
What would be, you know, what would be a good race for you, a good result for you on Sunday?
I think I want to run a fruitful and a good result. So I want to run with the fast people, and you know, the results I'm getting in, I will be satisfied, move on.
Haya, no pressure from the GOAT. Whichever position he finishes, he's okay with it. Has to be the last marathon for him, but we wait and see. Hata akimaliza, nyinyi ambao mnapenda kuweka pressure, hajasema ameenda kushinda. Whichever position atamaliza, yuko sawa. Eliud Kipchoge, 4-time marathon. Tutakuwa tunaangazia mataji ambao ameweza kushinda kwenye muda wake akikimbia. Ni mengi sana. Mengi ambao hata labda watu wengi tu wanamjua kwa sababu ya ile trying to break the 2 hour mark, lakini amekuepo na amefanya makubwa. Tusonge mbele kwenye raga. The national under-20 rugby team Kenya Chipu will be keen to record a win over host Zimbabwe and hope for Tunisia to upset Namibia in the final round of the matches of the 2025 Bathurst Cup set for Sunday for them to retain their title. The coach Simon Jawichire-led Chargers narrowly lost to Namibia in their second match played on Wednesday with a 32-22 scoreline. Namibia had earlier upset Zimbabwe, with Kenya humbling Tunisia.
Like, again, it might have been a sacking from Namibia, but look, Precious Bazani says no problems at all. Oh, what a running line from Kiptanui. Gets right on the 5. Great clearance as well. Ball out, Kepcheshe. He's powerful. He is massive. And he goes over the try line. Try time for Kenya.
Kepcheshe is a dangerous player with ball in hand. No matter who's in front of him, he is determined to bash through, and this time he bashes through to get his second in the game, and his celebration was full of passion and heart for his country.
Oh yes, 100% the Chipu on a comeback trail. They are trailing by 5 at the moment. Need to get that conversion there, Farhan Juma. He missed an attempt from a similar angle here, and he hit the post. Maybe this time round can just pull it inside the right-hand post, and hopefully that will then make sure that it's only a 3-point game. And from here, it would be more than enough to try and steal it away from the Namibians. Namibians there with a few jitters. They need to get back on their bike and concentrate. Farhan Juma pulls it a little bit too far to the left. Do what he does best. Get the ball in. Looks like
bado tusalie kwenye raga. Kenya Cup champions and Enterprise Cup defending champions Kabra Sugar will be keen to retain their title when they tackle high-flying Menengai Oilers in an Enterprise Cup final set for today at the Nakuru ASK ground. This will be the second meeting between the two rivals this month after Kabras retained the Kenya Cup earlier this month at the Kakamega Showground. For the 4th year running. Kabras are chasing a 5th Enterprise Cup, and Coach Carlos Katia said they must play to their strength and be resolute in defense. The South African tactician has warned his charges to expect a backlash from the Oilers. Elsewhere, at the Guan Institute ground, Mwamba ladies tackle Impala Rwans in a Women Kenya Cup final. Naam, tuingie kwenye Kenya Premier League. Kuna michuano ambayo imeratibiwa kusakatwa. Mchuano ambao unaendelea saa hii ni Posta Rangers dhidi ya Moranga Seal. Mchuano wa timu mbili ambazo ziko katika eneo la hatari na kila mmoja akitafuta alama 3 za muhimu sana. Rangers nadhani kushushwa ni kama pigwa muhuri. Sasa ni Seal kujaribu kurusharusha ngumi za mwisho. Kariobangi Sharks dhidi ya Bandari ni mchuano pia mwingine ambao unaendelea saa hii. Sharks wakiwa nyumbani. Saa 9 itakuwa ni mchuano wa KCB ikikaribisha Kenya Police. City Stars watakuwa mwenyeji wa Shabana saa 10 sawa na AFC Leopard dhidi ya Bidco United. Kisha kesho Jumapili Mathare United kwa inakaribisha Tusker. Kakamega Homeboys ni wenyeji wa Sofapaka. Alafu Gor Mahia watakuwa na menyana na Mara Sugar, huku Ulinzi Stars kukabiliana na FC Talanta ambayo imetesa katikati ya wiki ikipiga Gor Mahia bao moja bila jibu. Kitu ambacho watu wengi sana hawakuamini. Haya, imekuwa ni wiki mbili. Kumbuka weekend jana Sofapaka ilitoka sare ya bao moja dhidi ya Gor Mahia. Nilikuwa na wachanganuzi hapa kwenye studio, walisema hawaipi nafasi Sofapaka kusimamisha Gor Mahia. Alafu mimi nikawaambia nitaweka rekodi. Mwisho ikakuwa ni ile sare ambayo nilikuwa nawaambia inawezekana, ndio ilifanyika. Tusonge mbele kwenye EPL, tuangalie pia ratiba ya michuano. Kuna mchuano ambao unaendelea saa hii, dakika 9 zimesakatwa. Mchuano wa Chelsea dhidi ya Everton ugani Stamford Bridge, Chelsea wakiwa wenyeji. Saa 11 kutakuwa na michuano kadhaa. Wolves itakuwa inakaribisha Leicester City pale ugani Molineux. Kisha Newcastle iko mwenyeji wa Ipswich Town ugani St Mary. Brighton wakuwa nakaribisha West Ham, mchuano mwingine wa saa 11. Southampton wakuwa nakaribisha Fulham ugani St Mary. Newcastle ni St James, samahani. Kisha kesho Jumapili, tukimkemea shetani, Bournemouth watakuwa nakaribisha Red Devils Manchester United saa 10. Liverpool iko inasakata na Tottenham saa 12:30. Kisha mchuano wa kufunga raundi ya 34 itakuwa ni Nottingham Forest dhidi ya Brentford, mchuano ambao utakuwa unasakatwa Alhamis tarehe 1. Ndio ratiba ya michuano ya EPL. Jedwali sidhani kuna kikubwa kimebadilika. Liverpool yuko kwenye safari ya kuwahi taji lake msimu huu akiwa na alama 79, anaongoza. Amesakata michuano 33. Arsenal nafasi ya pili, amesakata michuano 34, yuko na alama 67. Manchester City bingwa mtetezi nafasi ya 3, alama 61. Kisha Nottingham Forest ambaye amewatisha wengi na kuwashtua, yuko katika nafasi ya 4 na alama 60. Newcastle United nafasi ya 5 na alama 59. Chelsea nafasi ya 6 na alama 58. Villa nafasi ya 7, Bournemouth nafasi ya 8, Fulham ya 9, Brighton anafunga 10 bora. Kwa faida ya mashabiki wengi ambao wanatazama kipindi wa Manchester United, Brentford nafasi ya 11, Crystal Palace nafasi ya 12, Everton nafasi ya 13, alafu Manchester United nafasi ya 14. Wolves 15, Tottenham 16, West Ham 17. Eneo la hatari ama ambao wanashushwa daraja msimu kama unakamilika leo, japo kuna michuano minne imesalia. Ipswich Town nafasi ya 18 na alama 33, Leicester City alama 27. Yani ni kama tayari kesha pigwa muhuri, sawa na Southampton alama 24 katika nafasi ya kufuta mkia. Mtazamaji, hapo ambapo kwenye KPL nilikuwa nafaa pia nikupe jedwali, mambo yamebadilika. Tusker FC anaongoza na alama 51 sasa, alama 2 mbele ya Kenya Police. Kisha Gor Mahia nafasi ya 3, Shabana nafasi ya 4, KCB nafasi ya 5, Kakamega Homeboys nafasi ya 6. Inaoana na swali la siku ambapo tunakuuliza nani ambaye ana uwezo wa kushinda taji la ligi kuu hapa nchini. Who do you think will win the Football Kenya Federation Premier League? Safari tuseme farasi ni Tusker, Police, Gor Mahia, hao ndio farasi. Punda wapo Shabana, KCB, Kakamega Homeboys. Tuseme punda 3, farasi 3. Itakuaje? Tujui. Subiri tuone. Tuko match day 28. Tutasubiri tuone hali iko vipi. Nataka nichukue pumziko fupi, kisha baadaye nirejee na mazungumzo ambao tutakuwa tunaangazia masuala ambao kweli yanakaa vizuri na masuala ambao yatakufaidi wewe ambaye Mkristiano ambaye pia umejitosa katika ulimwengu wa michezo ama una mchango kwa sababu michezo huwa inaoana sana na mambo pia ya kanisa. Ni mchango mkubwa sana. Nakumbuka hata wakati wangu mchanga sana kulikuwa na michezo ya makanisa na alikuwa anafana sana. Tutakuwa tunazungumza na Reverend George Mboro sawa pia na Dr. Jane Kamau kuhusiana na annual sports day ya SCK Canon Hesbon Parish. Michuano hii ambayo huwa inaandaliwa hapa katika uwanja wa Chuo Kikuu cha Kenyatta. Tutakuwa tunajua kuhusiana na maandalizi yako vipi, ni nini ambacho kama unahudhuria, nini ambacho unafaa kuexpect ama nini ambacho kitafanyika siku hii. Usiende mbali, hii ni KUTV on the spot.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimwele.
So I'm very sure that through you and other people and other supporters will be able to reach a bigger margin of people, and also like start getting and winning trust, because people still relate our sport with Beverly gun. So it started with the Beverly gun thing. So when you say skipping rope, that is what comes to their mind. So when you say let your kid pay a little bit for this, and they're like, no, we've gone to schools, just to introduce jump rope just like any other sport, because this is a sport that will not only enhances career, but even the fitness, the mental health. It's like it's a sport that nurtures a holistic person in one. And the biggest thing about it is that it's now a career. Like you can go to any country right now and coach and earn. You can be a judge, a professional judge, and you'll be paid. Like this year's the first ever World Championship where judges are being paid. And every country that is doing jump rope, you are given opportunity to take judges to the World Championship, and they'll earn money. So this is a career, but not yet received well. So yeah, it's sad, it's bad that people only view sports in the country as I wouldn't mention because it will be a bias, but we have only few sports that people regard as sports, but others have been pinned down. But you know what? We are not giving up. We are coming. Yeah.
Okay, and you mentioned about something that is very important, the support especially from the government.
Yeah.
When you see, let's call the national team, the national football team, we have the Kenya Athletics, being facilitated to go out and carry Kenyan flag. And when you make requests and you get rejection, how do you feel as a coach?
Yeah, my saddest moment as a coach and as a federation president was last year when we were invited. The only Africa, like even the world president made sure that he mentioned that in our invitation letter, that this is the only African country that is coming to benchmark for Africa, that is coming to teach the world and go back and teach Africa the sport. But I think nobody read it. Those people, we submitted all those things, but nobody read it. However, it was the saddest moment where I have no control. Like, have you ever reached a point where you feel like you don't have control over this and then you have to let it go? So it was the saddest moment for me. I feel bad because there is no difference between a jumper and a footballer, because those two are achieving the same thing for the country, for themselves, for their communities and their families. So my prayer is like, if our ministry, if anyone who loves sport out there can look at other upcoming sports as important as other sports, we will really move, because sports has potential to actually employ so many youth in this country if they are given the same attention and support as other sports. Yes.
All right, and even as now we wind up, let's talk about this upcoming event.
Yeah.
So even as you talk about the projection this time round, so how far are you guys in terms of preparation?
Yeah, I'll say preparation are ongoing. The athletes are training. Like, the training is every day happening in the hold. So we are hoping by the end of May, we will have our final list. And I'm very sure, and I'm like 100% sure, that given an opportunity, we can take more than 20 athletes to participate in the World Championship, this year's World Championship. However, the number will depend on how much we will be supported with. And so like right now we have already selected the first bunch of players, and then from there we are going to have the final selection, of the team that will be making it according to what will have will be in the kitty at that time. That's why I can't tell how many players will be able to take to the World Championship, but I'm praying that we get the support so that we can take as many as possible. And then, okay, with the dates, we haven't settled on the dates as when we are doing the selection day. Yeah, but it is somewhere in May. I'll let you know. Yes.
wako. Okay. Karibu kwenye kitengo cha pili cha KUTV in the sport, mazungumzo mazuri sana. Kama umenipata nikiongea ni kwa sababu siko peke yangu. Ni kitengo cha pili ambacho nilikuwa nimekuahidi, ambapo tutakuwa tunazungumza kuhusiana ama na mshikadau ambaye anatoa mchango mkubwa sana katika mshikamano wa dini na michezo. Mara nyingi najua watu wanasema nini dini, wana michezo wanakumbuka wakati wanaomba kabla ya mchuano, lakini there is so much intermarriage wakati mambo ya dini na michezo. Kwenye hiki kitengo cha pili tutakuwa tunazungumza na Daktari Jane Kamau ambaye ni mhadhiri hapa katika Chuo Kikuu cha Kenyatta, na ambaye atakuwa na tusaidia kujuana kuhusiana na kuna initiative ambayo amekuwa akiisukuma, na ndio sasa pia tutakuwa tunapata kujua zaidi kuhusiana na hii initiative, kitu ambacho inapania kubadilisha ama inatoa mchango mgani katika jamii. Karibu sana daktari kwenye kipindi.
Asante sana.
Feel free, Kizungu, Kiswahili tunachanganya yote.
Asante.
Nafurahi kupata nafasi kuzungumza na wewe, hasa nikiangalia kile write up na mchango wako kuhusiana na kuimarisha afya ya kuchanganya michezo, na ni kuhakikisha kwamba michezo inawasaidia watu kuwa na afya njema. Kwa kujitambulisha kwanza kuhusiana na labda the initiative ambayo tunazungumzia kwenye hiki kipindi, kwa mtazamaji ambaye ndio mara ya kwanza na kutazama kwenye kipindi, labda tunaweza anza na kujitambulisha na kitu ambacho unafanya.
Asante sana Peter, one for having me as a guest this afternoon. It's a pleasure. This is the third time I am coming for a talk show at KUTV. And I'm really grateful that this is a conversation that is continuing. And every time I show up, I'm talking about physical activity. One, because I am a promoter of physical activity. At KU, I'm in the Department of Exercise and Sport Science. Here we train using physical activity and exercise to students who will become implementers or instructors of physical activity at different contexts, either in the hospital settings or in the field. Like I've been watching the different things that are happening in the field. The people who are behind the performance that we've been talking about until when I got in are the sports scientists, because we take them through coaching science. And we also have the general practitioners of physical activity in gym. So physical activity is a tool that is used to promote health. And that is what I do in the department. I am an exercise physiologist, and my bias is on how to apply exercise to remedy disease, chronic health conditions. If you bring me a diabetic patient, I may not be able to prescribe the diabetic medicine, but I'm able to walk the journey of healing with the diabetic person through physical activity or any other non-communicable disease. Now, with my passion of physical activity, I'm also a congregant at ACK Canon Hesbon. And one of the things that we uphold as a university, there are 3 mandates that each one of us has. You teach, and I teach. I'm a senior lecturer. You also conduct research. I am in the journey of doing research. And you also do community service. So for me, my passion is actually in community service. And previously I have served as the Director for Community Outreach and Extension Programs for the university. And you know, when you go to the community, you serve with what you have. You serve with your expertise. My expertise in physical activity. And also training, because I'm a trained teacher. So at Canon Hesbon, the parish council, chama kikuu cha kanisa, kiko na vikundi balibali. Idara balibali, mojawapo ni hiyo ya kusomesha na kujali mambo ya health. And I am the chair for that committee at the parish council. So training and health. Now how these marry, the sports, the physical activity and health, is because even the World Health Organization recognizes physical activity, exercise and sports to be one of the drivers of health in prevention and also in management. Right? And for us at Canon Hesbon, we want to be a healthy congregant, God cannot be served by people who are sick.
Very
God
true.
cannot be served by people who are
Ni kweli.
suffering, whether spiritually or physically or economically. So our trainings are usually geared to wholesome development of that congregant who is at ACK Canon Hesbon. Sometimes we even bring economic experts to take us through financial management and how to create wealth so that we are able to serve our God. We have our Reverend George, and I want to pass his apologies. He's not able to come today. He was actually to come with me, but he's hosting our bishop, the diocesan bishop,
Okay.
because today is a confirmation day and we were the host. So he's the host, being the rural dean of the rural deanery. So I hope you take his apologies. And we are saying we have this forward-looking and very visionary vicar, Reverend George Buru, who allow us to be, so that then we are able to serve God with him. So he gives us his spiritual, nourishment to us as the congregants with his pastoral team.
Yeah.
But then he called upon us, who are experts, to drive other things. And that is how then the training and the health committee is formed, and I lead that team.
Kuna kitu najiuliza, kila wakati kitu kikianza, there is something behind it. Uamki tu unasema nataka kufanya. Kuna kitu ambacho inaleta huo msukumo. Labda sijui ni nini ambacho kiliwafanya nyinyi, kwa sababu kanisa zipo nyingi, na kwamba nyinyi mmechagua kufanya hicho. Lazima kuna kitu kiliwasukuma, ama kuna kitu mliona ndio kikawafanya mtake kuanza initiative, ama to start that initiative ambayo mko nayo.
Hii initiative ya sports, actually this is our second edition and probably we will be talking about it in detail.
Yeah.
Lakini ilianza mahali fulani. Vile tulimpata huyu Reverend George, alikuja pia na vision yake. Na ikawa moja wapo ni kufunza watu yale mambo yanayoendelea nchini and duniani.
Yes.
We want to be at abreast. We want to have, you also want to serve people who understands the things around them. So akaform hiyo training and health committee, the one that will be bringing people to speed with different aspects of what is happening in our society. And so health is part and parcel of it. And the genesis of this is you can't serve God when you are sick. And we have so many preventative measures like physical activity, exercise, good nutrition, and many more. We even have doctors coming on board also to talk about disease, just to drive health and well-being. And also I think we are also coming from the World Council of Churches. They look at churches as healing ministries. They believe that the church is the unit that has solutions to many issues within the society. Be it in health, be it in the environment, they have structures and they have capacity to drive the agenda of health. They have the capacity to drive the agenda of taking care of the environment and taking care of God's creation. Maybe that is where it starts, the training aspect. But when we come to our space now as Canon Hesbon, and the training and the health, we have a whole month that is dedicated to health issues. That is the month of August. So from the day 1 of August, we pick on topical issues in health and bring in the experts to discuss with us and to give us ways on how to either prevent or manage for those that are sick. But we also enjoined 2 more critical activities into our health training, that we do a 15-kilometer walk every last Saturday of the month of August, just to keep people physically active and also come out and celebrate whatever people we are celebrating. Like the t-shirt I wear today was for our last year's health month, where we were celebrating cancer survivors and their caregivers. And we walk and we want to talk about the topical issues within the society for even our neighboring communities to see that it is actually possible. Then the last Sunday of the month, we usually do a medical camp. And the medical camp is not for treatment, it's for screening purposes. Because if you've been following about cancer, there has been a series of cancer even with Citizen TV, whereby they want to unearth, this demon of cancer and give the correct information to people, right? And so one of the things they have been saying, screen early, so that when you are diagnosed early, it gets easier for treatment. It's the same thing we do, bringing people for screening. So they are screened, and we've been able to pick positive cases and then refer, because we also work in collaboration with partners, refer those cases. So in one of the walks, I think in 2023, most of the people that we were working with, they challenged us as the training team and health committee, and they said walking is not enough for us. We need a whole sports day. We want to come to our father's house, people call the church our father's house, and have fun as we participate in sport, so that we're able to board. And as we do that, we are also moving our bodies and we are living active lifestyles. And coming to sports, you cannot participate in a sport that you have not been training in. So we want them to remain active throughout, ahead of the competitions. So from respective places of stay or of work, whenever they have an opportunity to get into a pitch, if they like soccer, or volleyball, if they like volleyball, they train. And then tomorrow we meet and we see who has been training. Those who win, quite often they are the people who have been training. And it's usually a very competitive undertaking.
Sports has no shortcut. So you have to train.
You have to train.
Let's talk about
but mainly it's not even for competition purposes. Mainly is to ensure that people from their respective spaces, they remain active for health and well-being.
Let's talk about the difference. I know being the second edition, kuna tofauti nyingi sana na ile ya kwanza. Kuna vitu mmeona huko mnataka kubadilisha kwenye hii ama kuimarisha. This year's edition, what are some of the sports that people, whoever are participating, first of all, you can talk about the participants. Sisi tunaweza kuwa hapa tunasema na hii si ina sound vizuri. Tunataka kuenda. Do you have a regulation in terms of who can participate? And again, the sports that people are going to participate.
Thank you for that question. And this is our second edition. We learned from our first edition. The first edition was very competitive. And what happens in our church, we are divided into 3 divisions. Cell groups, we call them cell groups, or worship groups. And they are usually designated by geography, where you reside subject to the church. So we have Jerusalem, which is within the estate that holds the church. Then we have across the road, those who know green spots, upwards, we have a cell group we call Bethsaida. Then green spot downwards, anybody who lives down to as far as the airport, they are the Jericho. So we have those small player groups that drive worship and fellowship beyond Sunday. Because we need God all the times. And we only come to church on Sunday. So the rest of the days in the week, you can still hold your fellowship in a smaller way and have your church at that point. So we have those 3. And usually they are the competitors. Every cell group has its team. And so asking whether any other person can participate, unless they join the church.
Usifikirie utatoka huko.
Usifikirie utakuja. Last time kuna wenye walijaribu kufanya hivi. Hata wakanunuliwa. Unajua wale wachezaji wa kununuliwa. Sasa hiyo ilileta changamoto kubwa. We were not able to control discipline.
Because again, lazima ukuwe na regulations.
Exactly. You are not able to control discipline of people who are not your congregants. Because why we are also bringing sport, we know it is competition. And we want to see how people can behave outside the church. Unajua pale kanisani mtu aigi hapo, unanyenyekea. Hata kama uko na personality ingine, unaificha. Juu pale ni kusikiliza vile mchungaji anavyosema na kufuata taratibu. Lakini watu wakitoka nje huko, mchuano wa michezo, that is now when you release yourself. So we want to understand our congregants in a different context, their temperaments, how are they able to behave when they are engaging in a competitive avenue with each other? Are they able to maintain fair play? Are they able to maintain self-control? And these are the things that we want people to run in church. But they are more demonstrable when you come out in the field and in a competitive manner.
Okay.
So we have a challenge. We had a challenge last time because our field is smaller. And the church has grown.
Yeah.
And everybody else want to participate in these sports.
Yes.
So what we have done, we have requested Kenyatta University to partner with us because we appreciate the vast sport grounds they have.
Yes.
You know, previously Kenyatta University has hosted even the international sports.
Yes.
Like in 2017.
The under
18 IAAF contests, KU was the sports village. So in appreciation of what this institution has and looking at where we are placed as a church, we want to take advantage of the facility here, the expertise here, and I think this is the desire also of the university. Not to keep the expertise in here, but to open it up for the common good of the society.
Yes.
So by coming to KU, we hope to access the fields. Actually, we've been taken through the fields.
Yes.
And they are open for us. The lower side and the upper side to be all Canon Hezbollah.
Yeah.
That way, we are able to have many people participating in different sports. We have athletics from the babies to our fathers or our grandfathers.
Yes.
We have volleyball for everybody again. We have swimming. We don't have a swimming pool at the church. So we'll be accessing the KU swimming pool for swimming competitions.
Yeah.
We have soccer for including the ladies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, in terms of the team sports, I know individual sports, sometimes it's very easy to manage. Kama ni watoto between this age and age, it's very easy. But for team sports, do you have to make teams for, say, the youth, then ndio pia wazee pia wasikuje wapatane na vijana.
Sasa hapo nasi tumejipanga.
Yes.
We have fixtures.
Yeah.
Just like any other league would have.
Yeah.
We have our fixtures because we appreciate also the competitive nature of sports.
Yeah.
And the gender perspective in sports and also age. We respect everyone by their age. We know children cannot compete with their fathers.
Yes.
Wataumizwa. And the youth have all their energy. So we have the youth separately praying as youth.
Yeah.
So we have sports in different cohorts.
Okay.
For the kids, we even have circuses for them, the fun activities for the very young.
Yeah.
But we also have competitions for the under 14, then the youth, then us now, the parents, and the elderly. We even hope to give them walking football.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have come to know walking
Yes,
football.
walking football.
For the elderly, over 50.
Yes.
Yes, so that we are taking care of each and everyone, and we do not suffer injuries, and we get everybody to be contented.
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes when things are starting off, people don't see the end game. But sometimes there are people who plan the end game even before you reach there. It's your second edition, of course, major growth compared to the first edition.
Yes.
Is there any final plan? I know sometimes you start. I have seen teams that have started as quote unquote za wazee wa vitambi, and eventually they decide to form a professional team out of that activity. We have also had churches that have started initiative with the youth and ended up having teams that are now representing them even in the major leagues. Not just churches, supermarkets, different entities. For your case, have you foreseen something like that? Ama mnasema step by step, if eventually mtafika hapo, well and good. Because some of these youth might actually come and push you to now start thinking that line. Because for them, they might get even more competitive na waanze kufikiria. If they can even organize themselves in a more professional manner, then they can be able to fly your church flag in a major league.
That is a possibility.
Yes.
And as a church, we are very open-minded.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you start an initiative from a very humble level, and with this intention that we have
Yeah.
of promoting physical lifestyles at the church level, because we feel it is the most organized in our society, you know, to drive some of these initiatives.
Yes, the most organized and actually the easiest to pull resources.
The easiest to pull resources,
Yes.
and the easiest to have everybody on board.
Yeah.
Because on Sunday, I come with my children, irrespective of their age. I come with my spouse, irrespective. I come sometimes with my parents,
Yes.
irrespective of their age.
Yeah.
So the church is a reflection of the society, you know, the demographics
Yes.
of the society.
Yes.
And so the possibility of our sports growing to a bigger thing, we are open to growth. When I was training this week, one of the days we met, and I play volleyball.
Yes.
And we met at the volleyball pitch. We have a volleyball pitch at the church. And we played until late, about 8.
Yes.
It is dark, and you can't even see the volleyball. So that is the point we decided we are going home. And the chairman of the estate, because he was also a participant, he said, this is something that we need to move forward. So we are open.
Yes.
If a team grows or teams grow in different sports, from our church, it's a very welcome thing for us.
Yeah.
And as we play volleyball, across we have the Mabry estate.
Yeah.
There is ACK St. Matthews. The ladies there also started volleyball years back.
Yeah.
And for them, it is really developed.
Okay.
When I don't play in my church, I cross to Mabry. Then they even have a carpeted pitch. And they have a strong team.
Yeah.
So if we wake up one day and they say, let's start a league, they have a team, we have a team, that would be
and
good.
And more teams
And
now
more and more
will
teams
keep
form.
on joining.
And this is a challenge
Yeah.
that I would also want to pose to other churches.
Yes.
That because it's a good structured unit, we can drive so much.
Okay.
This active living is never easy. At our places of work, when you sit 8 to 5, maybe there is no room for physical activity.
Yeah.
But when you go home and there is a compound within your church, because not every other homestead will have a compound to drive physical activity, I think churches should open up these facilities and their spaces for people to live active. You know why?
Yeah.
Even as we drive health and well-being, when I get sick, churches are known to be full of compassion. The first people to come to my rescue on a medical bill
Church members.
is the church members.
Yeah.
So we can reduce our contributions to health matters
Yeah.
by living and encouraging our congregants
Yeah.
and communities around us
Yes.
to remain active. I'm not saying that physical activity is the only thing that can reduce disease
Yeah.
or can is a risk factor to disease. There is much more. But all these things can be driven
Yeah.
within the church
Yeah.
as a structured unit in our communities.
Times have changed, and it's always good to see reliving moments that probably you saw them in your childhood, reliving those moments. And when I say that in respect to, for example, when I was growing up, there were so many church competitions. We used to go for inter-churches competition. I don't think most of them exist now. And sasa yangu ilikuwa ni from the Catholic side. I used also to see inter-churches even in the ACK, different churches. But with time, imeenda ikaisha. Growing up, I also used to see a lot of church hand in some of the sports team in different localities. And some could even identify with the church because the church would fund them. Church ndio ilikuwa inafanya mambo yote, making sure that, because again, sports has been over time been seen as a weapon that can help kill a lot of vices in the society, and the church is also trying to kill a lot of the. So with the church now intermarrying with sports, inakuwa easier to reach even a wider group of people. I don't know why for you specific umeamua kurudi and do these initiatives, because not many churches are doing them now. But it's good and actually worth celebrating kuona kanisa ikikuja and ready to I don't think kuna church mingi they care about the congregation after church service. Labda kama kuna mchango, lakini mkishatoka mlango ya kanisa, let's meet next Sunday. So why is it for you iko special in this way?
I think for us it's an awakening.
Yeah. Mtaani hata wanasema kanisa ni sadaka. Ukishatoa
kwetu sio hivyo.
Yeah.
And I think we all need this awakening as a church. And again, what has happened, there is a lot of shift in knowledge. Kitambo, when we were growing up personally, people thought the bigger you looked, the healthier you were.
Yeah.
And probably the richer.
Yes.
You were.
Yeah.
And you see, that was a misconception.
It was the African perspective.
It was the African perspective.
Yeah.
So people really wanted to look big.
Having a big stomach means you are wealthy.
And if you are a man and you are married to a lady who is big, hata wase watakwambia hata mamako zazi atakwambia inaonekana unamwangalia vizuri. So food is in plenty. And maybe I need to take you back to when we were hunters and gatherers.
Yes.
Let me take you a little bit of the transition that I'm talking about so that you see how we are positioning ourselves as a church. Many years ago, Africa and Africans were seen as the hungry nation. Msaada wowote
Africa
ni Africa.
Yes.
Wa chakula, because we were poor, isn't it? And that time, people used to go vending for food from far off places. Our mothers would go to the market the whole day. That tells you the market was not even near.
Yes.
Okay? And we would eat what they have also farmed. There was a lot of weeding and really looking for food.
Yeah.
Which was scarce. And the little money they would get, they would go looking for food very far.
Yeah.
So what that meant is that they didn't have so much to eat, and they were also having a lot of walking to do.
Yeah.
So physical activity for them was a must.
Yes.
Because you don't walk to the market, there is no food to give to your kids. You don't go to the farm and weed, again there is no food. But then again, with the knowledge, education, industrialization, technology, advancement. Si tulipelekwa shule? Tulipelekwa shule kwa nini? Tupate kazi nzuri, ndio tuweze kufanya nini? To feed our kids. And so, through this industrialization and technological advancements, my mother never drove. I don't remember never driving.
Yes.
I pick my kids to school and back to school. So they don't walk. Me, I walked to school.
Yeah.
So physical activity that time was spontaneous. It was the way of life. Today, I am not waiting for food.
So
I live near the supermarket.
Yes.
So I can even
our lifestyle changed.
They have changed.
Yes.
With a phone call, I have all my groceries dropped in my house. So with the reduction of physical activities, what have we seen? Food is ready. Sometimes you don't even have to cook.
Yes.
Ask Grovo to bring you food that is ready. And they'll drop it at your doorstep.
Yes.
So with the time, what has happened, we have started becoming bigger and healthier, and disease has set up. Non-communicable lifestyle diseases, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, they have found our way because of our lifestyle. But then we have knowledge explosion. We cannot live any time further as ignorant, because we know it is this our lifestyle of being inactive, it is this our lifestyle of poor feeding that is causing us disease.
Yes.
So the awakening and the knowledge, it is with us. We are the experts who are attending those churches.
Yes.
And we feel we have an obligation to drive the agenda of fitness, health living at the church level.
Yes.
Because even if I sat with all the knowledge I have, if I died today, I would die with it.
Yes.
But if I share, I will be doing God's work.
Yes.
So we have this
your knowledge
generation
has to impact,
yes,
to be impactful
we
in
have
the
a
society.
generation of
Yes.
people that are saying, we want to give back.
Yes.
We want to bring our brothers and our sisters to the level we are with knowledge. Knowledge that they can use at no cost.
Yes.
And change their lifestyle.
Yes.
Because my sister comes to that church, my brother comes to that church, live active, delay disease, I am saved.
Yes.
Because sitaitishwa pesa ya kwenda hospitali.
Yeah.
So it is an awakening, and which I would challenge most of us to take it up. That we share the expertise we have, we share the knowledge that we have with our people, so that maybe we can have a better society, which has a reduction in the burden
yes.
of disease. And not just disease. Coming Sunday, which is it that?
Yes, yes. It's supposed to be that.
4th, 5th. Coming Sunday
yes.
is 5th after the
5th of May. Yes.
5th
yes.
of May.
Yes.
We know there is the competence-based education. But if you ask how many congregants understand about
4th of May.
Yes, about competence-based education.
Yeah.
Not many are versed with what is happening. Yani wanangoja tu siku ziende.
Yes.
Ama mtoto akuje na newsletter vile mwalimu amesema. So as a church, we are having an expert that Sunday to give civic education matter CBE.
Yes.
So that our brothers and sisters who have kids at the lower grades or the upper grades, or those that are transitioning to grade 10, at least waambiliwe pale kwa kanisa.
Sikuulizana ako umesema ako grade gani? Hiyo ni gani?
So we
yes.
want to challenge that churches, because they are organized, you will not be heckled in the church. It's not like a political campaign. Church watu huanga wametulia. Na vile wametulia, wengi wao husikiza na wengi wao husaidia.
Yes.
Yes, so us as the experts and experts out there, use the church platform to give what you have. You also gain from others. Yeah? And tutakuwa tumesonga mbele sisi wote kama nchi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Daktari, closing it off, let's touch on tomorrow. The event starts at what time?
At 11.
Mpaka saa ngapi?
Mpaka 5.
By 11 ni African time ama ni ile 11?
Kwetu hakunanga African time.
Okay.
By the way, we have a very disciplined clergy.
Okay.
Reverend George. Tunaanzanga kanisa saa 3.
Yes.
Hata kama ni watu wawili wameingia kanisani, yeye anaanzia.
So what happens to the mass?
The mass,
we
have our mass.
Yes.
We usually go to mass from 9.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And we usually have 2. There is one that goes 9 to 11, then another one from 11 to around 12:30.
Okay.
So tomorrow, whenever we have such activities that are involving everyone, we do one combined service.
Okay.
So our combined service is starting at 9 a.m. We'll do it for only 1 hour, 30 minutes in the church. Out there, we have partners. We are not doing this alone.
Yeah.
Like KUTV, you are our partner.
Yes.
Now you have given us a platform to talk about what we do and what we do best. You are our partners.
Yes.
We also have KU, who are our partners that have allowed us to come actually not only use the grounds, but even the referees.
Yes.
They are members of staff here and students of exercise and sports science.
Yeah.
Out there we have Lakewood group of schools.
Yes.
You know what? They have given us buses to ferry people from the church to KU and back.
Yes.
So no one should say I don't have
transport. So everything is well organized, handled.
So immediately after 10:30, because that is when the mass will end, buses zitakuwa zimetungoja pale. Ndio tuletwe hapa tuanzane na michuano.
So it's more of a professional setup.
Oh yeah.
Toka unakuja. So 11 to 5.
5.
Yes.
5 we end up with a closing ceremony. Do you know we even have medals and trophies for the winning teams? Yes. So we'll have a closing ceremony to award the medals and the trophies. Last year, Jericho took the gold trophy.
Yes.
Sasa sisi ndio wa Jerusalem. Mimi nachezea Jerusalem. Tunaona kama
This time ni nyinyi.
Nyinyi si tuta-celebrate. Hiyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time pia muongeze hapo invite team hata moja. Yes.
An away team.
Yes, an away team just to spice up the competition.
It is something
and maybe you can include it hata kama ni the youth level or you decide ni wazee wakuje and then
that would be a friendly match.
Yes, and it sometimes inaweza trickle down to the invite team might go and start the same thing.
You never know.
And within no time you realize kuna so many competitions za kuleta watu pamoja with initiatives maybe physical make sure watu wako in better physical status.
Better physical status and also social status.
Yes.
Let me tell you something that happened with this edition, because last year I didn't play. I had a fracture on this leg that came from a spike. I'm a strong spiker in volleyball. So I got a fracture last year playing volleyball. So I never trained last year. This year, through the trainings, I have met so many people who are congregants in the church. Wenye tunapatana tu ni zile za high ordinarily. But this time round, because we are playing in the field together, maybe on one side or a different side, nimejua hata watoto wao.
Yes.
So it's a socializing agent. Actually, sport is a universal language. To socialize people, to keep people healthy, and the vices, as you said, because if you can observe discipline of a penalty, I am sure when we get back to our settings, we can observe the discipline of drug abuse.
Yes. Yeah.
And we can kill so many vices out there when we use sport as the platform to engage our young people.
Yes.
And to engage all of us.
Yeah. Daktari sana, thank you for your time. Nimefurahi sana. I think you have shared so much information about the annual sports day. And again, so much insights in terms of physical health. I'm glad kuna watu wengi sana wametazama kipindi na wamefurahi. Maybe a parting shot for the people who are planning to attend and tufungie hapo.
Thank you, Peter. Parting shot for congregants of Canon Hesbon. Tomorrow we were allowed to come in our sports gear.
Yes.
For the
so
church
hakuna mtu
service.
atakuangalia vibaya kama umekuja na
kuangalia vibaya. Tutokelezee pale tukiwa ready to compete and to also have fun. For those that are not playing the individual sports, come with vuvuzeras.
Yes.
So that you can cheer up your teams.
Yes.
And for those who may want to also join that are not congregants of Canon Hesbon, come on board to see.
Yes.
You can also learn a thing or two so that we can start these initiatives, as many of them in our society.
Interactions hazijafungwa specific.
Na wakitaka pia kuongezewa maarifa wanavyoanzia kwa makanisa baribari. We are there. We are available as a training team.
Yes.
We can teach them. We can show them. We can work with them.
Yeah.
But my challenge to all that are watching, let us keep active. For our health is our wealth. Thank you.
Asante sana daktari. Mtazamaji, imekuwa ni mazungumzo mazuri sana kuhusiana na ACK Canon Hesbon Parish Annual Sports Day ambayo inafanyika kesho tarehe 27 kutoka saa 5 hadi saa 11. Ukitazama runinga unaona ndio hizo details hapo. Kama unataka kuja kuona mambo yakifanyika ama kanisa watu wakiungana na kufanya mambo ya makuzi, you are invited. Alafu pia kwa timu zote ambazo zitakuwa zinawakilisha heri kwenye michuano. I think it's a very good initiative and I'm looking forward actually to have even wider conversation na wewe in other aspects. I know your point ya whether you guys are going to think of doing it bigger and finally eventually having something professional, whether ni volleyball, doesn't have to be specific football, any sport yenye mnaona ndio mko sawa. I think hiyo ni conversation you can push through.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Get there.
Mtazamaji, niruhusu nichukue pumziko fupi alafu narejea na mazungumzo mengine kisha twenzetu. Hii ni KUTV on the spot, usiende mbali.
Access to knowledge. Solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights. And repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii, na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari, kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari-ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimweli.
In a world where uncertainty rules and opportunities are scarce, it's time to break from the barrier and unlock your full potential.
We must live within our means. We cannot spend money that we don't have.
We will explore the fascinating world of investment, trade secrets, business strategies and entrepreneurship.
Sasa challenges ziko mingi sana. Parking ya mzigo imekuwa mbaya. Unaweka pesa yako inakataa kurudi.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, what you covered with invaluable insights to help you succeed.
Now, this year we have seen a rebound in the economy, which is well above the global average of the 3%.
Join me, Anyango Sylvia, every Sunday and Monday on KUTV News at 9, and let's turn your dreams into reality.
So my name is Jakub Petri. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the CAFE project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Eva Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu. Pepo pa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni dunia ni leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Fashion. It's more than just clothes. It's a statement, a feeling. An art form, a way to express yourself, a reflection of who you are. It's Fashion Diaries. Join me, Ashley Asachi, every Monday from 8 p.m. as we bring you Kenya's latest trends, emerging fashion designers, glamorous fashion events, runway shows, red carpet events, and so much more. Fashion Diaries, unleashing your inner fashionista.
Haya, karibu mtazamaji kwenye kitengo cha tatu na cha mwisho cha hiki kipindi. Habari ambazo ni za kufurahisha kwamba Agnes Chebet Ngetich ameweka rekodi ya the second fastest woman ever over the half marathon kwenye mashindano ya Adizero Road, akiandikisha muda wa dakika 29.27 na kuvunja rekodi ya kilomita 10, ya rekodi ya dunia kilomita 10. Yani hizi vitu zinafanyika bana. Amevunja rekodi ya marehemu Agnes Tirop. Next itakuwa ni Emmanuel Wanyonyi ambaye anaingia kwenye mashindano akijaribu kuvunja rekodi ya maili 1 ya dakika 3 sekunde 54.5. Tusubiri tuone mambo itakuaje. Yani wa Kenya tu, wanasiasa tu ndio wanaletanga aibu, lakini wa Kenya wanaweka bidii. Tuka wanariadha, michezo, we angalia tu Kenya tu, aibu inatokanga wapi? Inatoka duka wanasiasa. Hao ndio utasikia tu wanafanya vituko. Haya, karibu kwenye hiki kitengo. Hiki kitengo nataka tuangazie kitu cha kwanza, ufahamu wa busara. Nataka tumuangazie Eliud Kipchoge ambaye atakuwa na pambana kwenye mbio za masafa marefu za London Marathon, akiwania kuwahi taji la 5 mjini London. Ndio mara yake ya 6 kwenye London. Kumbuka awamu iliyopita nadhani hakumaliza ama alimaliza katika nafasi si nzuri, japo ameshinda mara 4. Ndio mwanariadha ambaye ameandikisha mafanikio mengi sana kwenye London Marathon. Kwenye runinga utatizama, hizi ni stats ambazo tutakuwa tunakuchapishia kuhusiana na Eliud Kipchoge, bingwa mara 2 wa Olimpiki. Ameshinda London Marathon mara 4, kisha mara 5 ameshinda Berlin Marathon, akashinda Chicago Marathon mara 1, Tokyo Marathon akashinda mara 1. Zaidi ni kwamba kabla hajaingia kwenye mbio za masafa marefu aliwahi kushinda dhahabu kwenye mita 1500 World Championship. Huyu Kipchoge ambaye wakati mwingine mnamchongoa ama mnamwandikia mambo ya kuvunja moyo huko kwenye mitandao. Kitu kingine pia, amewahi kushinda nishani ya fedha kwenye hii mita 1500 kwenye mashindano pia ya dunia. Hii ni kabla tu akiwa kijana kabla hajaanza sasa kuingia kwenye masuala ya masafa marefu. Eliud Kipchoge pia ameshinda mashindano ya chipukizi, mbio za nyika ama World Cross Country, akiwa nishani ya dhahabu, akashinda nishani ya fedha 1 kwenye Berlin Marathon. Kisha ameshinda nishani ya fedha tena kwenye mita 1500 kwenye World Championship sawa na Commonwealth Games. Hii ni wakati wake tu akianza. Sasa haikuwa watu wakuwa wamemjua sana. Kipchoge pia ameshinda mara 3 taji la AIM's Best Marathon Runners Award, akaishinda mara 3. Aliwahi kutangazwa ama kutawazwa kama United Nation Kenya Person of the Year mwaka 2018, na ameshinda pia taji mara 2 la IAAF ama World Athletics Male Athlete of the Year, na ANOC Best Male Athlete. Hii ni Association of National Olympic Committee Best Male Athlete Tokyo Olympics. Huyu ndo Kipchoge Eliud. Kuna mengi sana ambayo hatujaweza kuandika hapo, mataji mengi sana ambayo ni zile accolades ambazo wameweza kupatiwa ama kutawazwa, lakini hizi tu zinakwambia kwamba arguably ndio mwanariadha bora wa karne hii, hasa kwenye mbio za masafa marefu, Eliud Kipchoge, the GOAT. Sasa amesema iwapo atamaliza nafasi ya 7, nafasi ya kwanza, yuko sawa, lakini hii ndio ya mwisho. Mtazamaji, pia nimekupa ratiba ya michuano ya EPL ambayo itakuwa inasakatwa leo, ikiwa mchuano ambao unaendelea na ambao ni vizuri niangalie matokeo. Ndio kama kuna mtu anavunjwa roho, avunjwe mapema. Chelsea dhidi ya Everton. Chelsea inaongoza ikiwa ni dakika 55 Nicholas Jackson akifunga kipindi cha kwanza. Baadaye kutakuwa na mchuano saa 11 ama kutakuwa na michuano saa 11. Wolves dhidi ya Leicester, Ugani Molineux, Newcastle United dhidi ya Ipswich Town, St James, Brighton, West Ham, Southampton, Fulham. Kisha Jumapili kutakuwa na michuano pia, kutakuwa na mchuano wa saa 10, Bournemouth Manchester United, Liverpool dhidi ya Tottenham, ambao ndio mchuano mkubwa wa weekend hii. Mchuano ambao utakuwa unasakatwa Jumapili saa 12:30. Labda kukupa tu zile stats za huu mchuano ni kwamba Liverpool hajapoteza kwenye michuano 15 ambazo wamesakata nyumbani dhidi ya Tottenham, ikiwa ni all competition, wakiwahi ushindi mara 11, sare 4. Kwenye michuano mitatu iliyopita walifunga mabao 4. Ina maana pia huu mchuano unaweza kukamilika na mabao mengi sana. Tottenham wameshinda tu michuano miwili ya 24 ambazo wamesakata dhidi ya Liverpool, wakati hii michuano miwili ambao wameshinda ikiwa ni wakiwa nyumbani. Wameshindwa pia kumaliza mchuano bila kufungwa bao kwenye michuano 18 walizosakata dhidi ya the Reds kwenye michuano ya ligi. Wamefungwa mabao 10 na Liverpool msimu huu, wakipoteza kwa mabao 6-3 kwenye mchuano wa mkondo wa kwanza wa Premier na kupigwa 4 bila jibu kwenye mchuano wa League Cup ama nusu finali ya kuwania taji la EFL. Hii ni rekodi ambayo kweli ilikuwa imeandikishwa na Manchester, walikuwa wameandikisha tena msimu wa 2013-14 dhidi ya Manchester City, wakipigwa mara 11, wakifungwa mabao 11. Kisha waliwahi kuandikisha hii historia ya kufungwa mabao mengi sana dhidi ya Chelsea msimu wa 2001, 2002, wakifungwa na Chelsea mabao 14. Yani one season 14 goals. Huu wakati Chelsea, Ngure hakuwa na support Chelsea. We all know wakati alikuwa vitu zinamuinterest ni muziki ya kirasta, hakuwa anashughulika na mpira until juzi tu ndio amenini. Kuna watu hata huko nyuma ya pazia kidogo 201 wao na football, there is only one ball ilikuwa inafanyika, ama walikuwa naweza jua kwa sababu walikuwa ndani ya hiyo ball. Wengi sana. Sisi wakati huo tulikuwa tunanyoa zile style za ajabu. Sisi tukisema we are the next Ronaldo. Style mbaya sana. Hiyo style ukiitazama sahi, alafu kwenye picha, alafu kumbuke kwamba uliwahi kunyoa, pia unaji-question. Your decision making that time ni style ambayo sahi ukipata mtu amenyoa hiyo style kidogo unaweza kumshangaa. Ilikuwa ni style ya ajabu. ilikuwa unakaa kuku jogoo hapa mbele. Anyway, hadi kufikia sasa Tottenham katika nafasi ambao wako nafasi kweli ambayo ukiangalia matokeo yao si nzuri sana. Used to be among the traditional top 6, lakini saa hii wako mbali sana. Wako alama 42 nyuma ya Liverpool. Liverpool wako na 79, Tottenham wako na 37. Hiyo ni 42 points behind. Je, kati ya Liverpool na Tottenham nani ambaye atakuwa na tamba? Wachanganuzi kwenye mitandao wanasema kwamba Liverpool ina asilimia ama uwezekano wa Liverpool kushinda mchuano huu ni asilimia 78. Sare asilimia 13, na uwezekano ama uwepo wa Tottenham kushinda huu mchuano ni asilimia 9 pekee. Mnasemaje nyinyi? Nyinyi ndio waamuzi. Hawa tu ni wachanganuzi. Nyinyi ndio ambao mnawekeza hela zenu. Mtazamaji, ratiba ya michuano ya raundi ya 34, we only have 4 games to go. Nottingham Forest Brentford ndio itakuwa mchuano wa kufunga kazi round 34. Tuingie round 35. Yani kama michuano imesalia hiyo minne, sikiliza timu yako. Chelsea wakipata huu ushindi wanaruka hadi nafasi ya 4, japo ni wakisubiri wengine wacheze. Yao ilikuwa hali kiko. Sasa ndio mko 4 provisionally, mko number 4. But sisi tumecheza. Yani hii ndilo unajisifu tu kwa masaa, alafu unarudi nafasi yako. Wakishinda watakuwa na alama 59, nafasi ya 4. Man City nafasi ya 3, Arsenal nafasi ya 2 na Liverpool nafasi ya 1, kisha Nottingham Forest nafasi ya 5. Ina maana as it stand now kwenye Champions League EPL, kama tuseme ligi kamilike sahi tu, Liverpool Champions League, Arsenal Champions League, Man City Champions League, Chelsea Champions League, alafu Nottingham Forest Champions League. Yani ikikamilika hivi timu 5 zinaenda kwenye Champions League kutoka EPL. Makofi pia kwa Arsenal kwa kutinga nusu finali. Unajua pia wakati timu inafanya vizuri kwenye Champions League ina pia ongeza nafasi za ama inaongeza uwepo wa timu zingine pia kuparticipate kwenye Champions League groups ama ule mfumo mpya wa Champions League. Alafu Newcastle na nafasi ya 6 anaingia kwenye Europa League. Hii ligi hii kuna mambo mengi sana yatafanyika. Ndio huo msimamo wa jedwali. Mchuano mwingine pia nilikuwa nafanya ni kuangalilia kama matokeo kulikuwa na early kick-off pia kwenye KPL. Nione kama na matokeo. Ilikuwa Posta Rangers Murang'a Seal. Mchuano umekamilika kwa faida ya Posta Rangers 3-2. Posta Rangers akiandikisha ushindi. Kulikuwa pia na another early kick-off. Cha niangalie, ina maana kwamba kama Posta ameshinda. Kulikuwa na Kariobangi Sharks dhidi ya Bandari, mchuano ambao umekamilika kwa faida ya Bandari. John Makwata akifunga bao sawa na Benja Nyamawi wakifungia Bandari na kuzima Kariobangi Sharks, bao lao likitoka kwa Steve Mbulere. Bandari wanashinda. Tuangalie jedwali sasa kufikia sasa tuone KPL nani ameshushwa daraja ama nani kuna uwezekano atashushwa daraja. Woi watu wa MC. Hadi kufikia sasa pale juu hakuna kitu kimebadilika. Tusker 51, Police 49, Gor Mahia 47. Shabana 43 nafasi ya 4, KCB nafasi ya 5 41, Kakamega Homeboys nafasi ya 6 na alama 41, AFC Leopard nafasi ya 7 na alama 38, Sofapaka nafasi ya 8 na alama 37, Bandari nafasi ya 9 na alama 36. Greatness Within Mathare United nafasi ya 10 na alama 33. Sharks nafasi ya 11 na alama 32 sawa na Ulinzi Stars ambao wako katika nafasi ya 12. Mara Sugar nafasi ya 13, Talanta nafasi ya 14, Posta Rangers nafasi ya 15, Bidco United nafasi ya 16, Murang'a Seal nafasi ya 17 na City Stars nafasi ya 18. Sasa ikikamilika hata hawana chance. What is happening? Painful sana. Haya, sawa tu. Mtazamaji, nataka nifunge nende zangu kwa sababu ndio hivyo, tumepiga shughuli yetu ndani ya masaa mawili, tukakuandalia mazungumzo, ukapata raha za aina yake. Sasa uniruhusu mimi nisepe nende zangu. Hebu umewahi kufikiria kwa nini? Kwa sababu hayo mazungumzo ambayo tulikuwa nayo hapa na Daktari Jane Kamau, nilikuwa nafikiria akiongea kuhusu mambo ya lifestyle na huko vile watu kitambo walikuwa wanatembea. Umewahi kufikiria vitu ambazo zilikuwa cheap na ambazo zilikuwa expensive kitambo ndio ziko cheap saa hii, alafu zile ambazo zilikuwa cheap ndio expensive? Hii inafaa kukwambia lifestyle change imefanyika. Kwa mfano, acha tuchukue mifano miwili. Mkate wa buffalo na naitwaje zile sweet potatoes. Kitambo ilikuwa ni ngumu kupata mkate wa buffalo, lakini ni rahisi kupata sweet potatoes. Hasa kwa walala hoi. Wale ambao hawana uwezo walikuwa nakula sweet potatoes, wakiangalia ambaye ako na buffalo wanasema na ako na pesa. Lakini saa hii buffalo ni kitu cha kawaida, lakini kuzipata hizo sweet potatoes bana, mambo yamebadilika. Mambo yamebadilika sana. Lakini ni sawa, ni lifestyle. Sasa ni wewe uamue sasa unataka kuishi vipi. Unajua pia target za watu hazifanani. Kuna mtu ametarget 40 years, mwingine ametarget 60. Ni very true by the way. Kuna mtu tu akifika 40, mashallah, asante. Kuna mwingine target ni 60. Alafu kuna mwingine anasema 100 if ni itafanyika now. Na kuna mwenye anasema nikigonga 60 sasa Mungu mimi ni wako. Wewe amua. Kwenye maisha usikubali kuwa na, ni heri actually kuwa na kuzaliwa kwenye familia ama jamii ambayo ni walala hoi ama ni fukara, kushinda kuwa na mawazo ambayo ni ya kifukara. Hebu fikiria, mawazo ya kifukara ni kwa mfano kwamba ukiwa na mfuko ambao umetoboka, unaweza kupiga kelele kusema kwamba mimi mifuko yangu imetoboka, kwa hivyo nikipata hela naweka zinaanguka. Sasa siwezi kusave, siwezi mafikra ya kifukara. Lakini tajiri atasema ndio mfuko wangu umetoboka, lakini ni nafasi kutumia kujikuu. Alafu kuna sehemu. Tazamaji, tupatane Jumamosi, kwa heri.